So thank you everyone who came out tonight. We're very excited to present NextEra Energy we're very excited to have our special guest NextEra Energy tonight to come present about how they're using AI in their business and like how you can get started on your AI journey. So for tonight, we're just going to go over a bit of the latest news in AI. Now we're going to go over a couple upcoming events for the club in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll start our virtual panel with NextEra Energy. So, yeah, this is why I didn't want this event. Sorry about that. So yeah, so first, NVIDIA has recently published their paper on Coordinate, which is a new diffusion model for weather forecasting. The way it basically works is it's able to take like natural level coarse atmospheric data, and then using a diffusion model similar to something like stable diffusion that you've maybe seen around, it's able to generate refined local level weather forecasting data that both like refines the coarse level data and then makes predictions on other future atmospheric conditions. They claim that this weather forecasting system is going to be 500 times faster and 10,000 times more energy efficient than traditional forecasting. No, it's just going to cover everything. And so they're already deploying it in some meteorological agencies. For example, it's already been deployed at the Taiwan Meteorological Institute for doing forecasting of extreme weather events. So it's very cool to be seeing this sort of work being done right now. In some other news, for those of us who like to work in the LLM space, there's been a lot of work in that. Recently, Google has released AI Co-Scientist, which they claim to be a multi-agent tool for assisting with research, for finding research proposals and hypotheses. If you may have seen OpenAI's Deep Research that came out last month, this is a very similar product, but it's a bit more refined in trying to help scientists come up with like research and proposals. Next, we've had a bunch of companies release a few new AI LLM reasoning models. Elon Musk's xAI has released Grok 3, and Anthropic has released Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and OpenAI just a few days ago. And then there we go. That should work. Yeah. So then OpenAI has also released GPT 4.5. These are all claiming to do improved reasoning capabilities. Claude 3.7 Sonnet is specifically claiming this hybrid reasoning system. So if you're interested in trying out the latest development in LLM technology, go check these out. I've heard a lot of good things about Grok 3 recently. I don't usually touch Grok for personal opinion, but they're apparently having that. They apparently have now also integrated a new personas feature that's like different from like the other LLM services you see here, which have like a default persona. Now Grok 3 folks allow you to have like different ways of chatting. So I guess the character AI in that sense. In other news now I'm here, OpenAI actually reached out to the club recently with a special offer where you can get 1 free month of ChatGPT Plus if you sign up with your student account. We have some sheets right here if you want to grab them after the meeting. I use ChatGPT Plus. I like it. I will say that normally it costs $20 a month. So after the 1 free month, I'm not sure if you want to stick with the third. Yeah.
Does Plus give you access to 4.5?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It gives you access to 4.5, the deep research, and their O1 reasoning models.
Okay. Wow.
I like O1 a lot. I find O1 is very good. I used it at a hackathon recently to come up with project ideas. So
Nice.
If you want to use that, make OpenAI like us a little bit more, maybe we'll come back. Go check it out.
Does it include API or just?
Hmm?
Does.
Just ChatGPT as far as I'm aware. AI related news. Microsoft has revealed the new Majorana 1 quantum chip. They announced this chip was apparently the newest quantum chip that is using a topological core architecture. I can't really explain to you what that means. You think one, right? You don't really mean. Basically, the chip is used, if you're familiar with quantum tech, this is some kind of different architecture for using qubits, and it's shown to be potentially more scalable compared to other quantum chip design. And supposedly they claim to get up to 1 million qubits. So this is related to AI because it could have like massive potential in making more efficient model training. And like if you're trying to do optimization problems, which are very closely related to AI, this should make it a lot faster to do. These are still very experimental though. I'm sure some of you have heard, oh, here's the latest quantum breakthrough. And this could all just be Microsoft trying to build hype. But this did make some waves and it could have good potential because they've been putting at least 10 years into this. So it's something. And then finally, wow, the US is really trying to ban DeepSeek currently. So yeah, that's basically, it's already being banned across a bunch of government agencies. It was banned at NASA just last week for privacy concerns. It was banned in all government devices in New York State. And right now there's a bipartisan bill also being pushed that's just trying to ban DeepSeek across all government devices. And I didn't put it up here. There's another bill that's been recently tabled that was pushing to ban any Chinese AI ever. And if you used it, either using the model weights or an app or anything, you would be fined $100 million and arrested for 20 years. So, yeah. So, but there is some legitimate cause for concern, at least on the government endpoint, because DeepSeek's app runs on Chinese servers, and it's already been revealed through like digging through the code that there are hidden login information. So like so DeepSeek is like recording where and when you log into things. So I can see why the government's concerned, but in terms of updates, tomorrow we are having our intro to deep learning meeting. So if you ever wanted to like learn how ChatGPT works, like the models and architecture make ChatGPT work, or making AI art generation, come to this. We're going to be going deep into how neural networks and deep learning work, how like we've made AI now work to mimic the human brain, and we will go over how you can write that in your own code. And we are going to be hosting that tomorrow at 6 p.m. at Engineering 1, room 224. Then also, next week, we are having our student project pitches. So if you remember from our first GBM, we were asking everyone to submit project pitches for like kind of things they want to work on, sort of project ideas. We are now excited to announce we're going to be presenting those to the club next week. You're going to see like all the people who have given pitches are going to come up and present a few slides on what their idea is, what kind of people they need to help out with making this project, and the sort of timeline they're looking for. I've submitted my own project for this. I think it's very exciting work. We're going to have both like beginner level projects and advanced level projects. And that's going to be next Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. at this room, Engineering 1, 327. Yep. Now we can pass it off to NextEra Energy.
So obviously we have our special guest NextEra. Thank you guys very much for being here. Did you guys want to share your screen for your slides or is this good?
Hi, so I don't think we have any slides prepared. I think we were just going to kind of do Q&A with a bit of a panel. So we have a few data scientists on here to answer some of the questions that you guys sent our way, and then any other questions that you have top of mind.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Yep. All right. All right. Sri, do you want to go first?
So, I guess one of our first questions we wanted to ask was, what exactly do you guys do and how are you guys using AI?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Maybe we can start off with a round of introductions for the folks that we have on the call. I think we all have slightly different backgrounds, so you might get a different lens from each of us. So I can go ahead and start off. My name is Sierra Majala. I am on the artificial intelligence team at NextEra Energy. I actually did not start off in AI. I started at a company called PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is a big four accounting firm. So my background is actually management information systems and accounting. That's what I majored in college. Went to PwC for their audit function, so more of a risk assurance side, IT audit. Moved over to NextEra, kind of was doing the same thing there. And that kind of primed me to be a good fit to help out with AI ethics here at NextEra. So I moved on to the artificial intelligence team about a year and a half ago now, starting with AI ethics and then moving into more of a project management role. So now I get to work really closely on a lot of the different projects that we're developing in-house, both Gen AI and ML, while still focusing on the AI ethics side of things. And now I'll pass it over to the rest of the team.
Hi, everyone. My name is Priya Penather. I'm a data scientist on this team, the IDEA AI team. My background, I'm from Broward County, Florida. That's the Fort Lauderdale area. And then really wanted to be a doctor growing up. So I actually got a bachelor's degree in biochemistry, a pre-med concentration. And by the time I graduated, I was like, I actually really don't want to go to med school. So if you're also a late transfer, I'm a method for late transfers. But I came home, took a computer science class and was like, oh wait, this is actually really interesting and really fun. And ended up getting a master's degree at FAU. I did some master's research that was really exciting. It was applying deep learning and transfer learning to look for evidence of evolution and natural selection in human populations. So it's just a very different application of data science. But then FAU, where I went to school, has a close relationship with NextEra, so I was able to start here. I actually started in one of our rotational programs for new college graduates. I started in the Ignite rotational program, which is our general IT rotational, before a year into that realized data science is really what I want to be doing. And so I started in the IDAP, the Ignite Data Analytics program, where I graduated in August. So I've been at the company for 2.5 years, but about 6 months as just a regular employee. And I work on all sorts of different projects. I work with our nuclear team. I work with our customer service team. In the past, I've worked with different business units. So I've had a really broad visual of what data and data science looks like at the company. And so it's been a really good journey for me in that way.
All right, I'll go next. My name is Clark. I'm a rotational associate. I just a few weeks ago rolled off the rotation with the AI team here. I graduated from FAU, like Priya, with a computer science degree, and this was just 2 years ago, so go Owls. So if you have any questions about the transition from classmate to coworker, I'm your guy. That's still very fresh to me. My official role title is the Ignite Rotational Associate. Like Priya said, it's a rotational program. It's a way for new grads to try out different careers in IT. We have 4 rotations that each last 6 months, so it's a 2-year program. I've done work as a nuclear data engineer, a renewable scrum master, a project manager, and an enterprise data scientist with the team here. And I'm currently in my 4th and last rotation with the developer experience team. However, today I'll be answering any questions as if I'm still a data scientist with these guys. On the team, we work on many different projects across the entire company, and I help with mostly the customer service side, but I still dabbled in a few projects here and there.
Awesome. Thank you, Clark. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, awesome. I apologize. I was having some audio problems earlier, and I apologize if I repeat anything that maybe Sierra or Clark or Priya have said. But I wanted to take a moment quickly to just introduce myself. So thank you for hosting this. Thank you for allowing us to join. My name is Brad Dittrick. I worked with this company for about 4 years. and I've been within the IT department for about 3 years. I am the employee experience program manager. That encompasses a lot, but realistically, very important pieces of it are the intern program and our college relations. So, we run that for the IT department here, and it's our pleasure to come in and host this event with you all. And we do this across many different schools at Florida. So, just wanted to take a quick moment to introduce myself. Um, I know I wanted to also introduce the company a little bit because I'm not sure how much everybody in AI at UCF knows about NextEra Energy or FPL. So, if you don't mind, I'll just take 1 or 2 minutes just to run through a little bit of details about the company, and then we can kick things off with some questions and answers to the panel.
Perfect.
All right, so you may know FPL as one of the power providers here in Florida, but the company, the parent company, is actually NextEra Energy, and we are across North America. So we're not just here in Florida. We do provide power in Florida, but we also provide and sell power outside of the state of Florida. So a couple things to note, very important things about this company. First thing is we're one of the largest electrical utilities in the United States, and we're the world leader in renewable storage. So that's been our competitive advantage for quite a while. And a couple things that we're doing really well is that we're generating electricity from the wind and sun, and we're able to store it in battery storage because not all electricity that is generated is immediately used. So if you can't store it, it goes unused. About 81% of the power that we produce is from green energy from the wind or the sun. So just to give you a breath of what we've done as a company. Our goal as a company as well is to decarbonize ourselves. So we're not looking for net write-offs. We're looking for completely green, carbon-free electricity for our customers. If we can accomplish that, that would be amazing. It's a work in progress, but we won't stop there. We'll take what we've learned and we'll share it with other companies across the United States in an effort to decarbonize really the whole US economy and hopefully the world one day. This company is fantastic. We have many opportunities for students that are either graduating soon or still in school. So I'll quickly highlight our internship program. Those positions will be opening up in September. So just an FYI, keep an eye out for that in September if you're interested in applying for an internship. And then we also have our Ignite rotation, which is a 2-year rotation, which offers 4 different stops at different areas of the IT department. So, for example, cybersecurity, data analysis, data science, AI, these are all areas that we have within our rotation program. So beyond the rotation program for Ignite, we have what's called the IDAP, and that's really focused around data analytics. And that is a 1-year program where there are two rotations for 6 months, and they're not necessarily rotations. Let me take that back. You're working on 2 projects over this 1-year time period. So we also have part-time positions available here and there. You have to check the website, but I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this information. I would love to kick it over to our panel and ask some questions that we have kind of thought about beforehand, if that is okay with you all.
Sounds good to me.
That sounds good.
Okay, fantastic. So I will kick things off with the first question. So, Clark, we'll start with you. What is your role at NextEra?
Yeah, I kind of went across this in the intro, but just to go over it again, I'm part of the Ignite program that Brad was mentioning. It's the 4 rotation 6-month program. I've done work as a nuclear data engineer. I've been a renewable scrum master and project manager, and I was an enterprise data scientist with these guys here. And then right now I'm in my very last rotation. I just started up like 3 weeks ago. I'm in the developer experience team, so I'll be working on making the developer experience a lot more efficient. So if it comes to agentic AI or if it comes to automating things for our developers, that's what I'm going to be doing for the next 6 months. After Ignite, still looking for more job options in the program, but usually with Ignite, we get a lot of different options that we can go to. Depends on where we did the best or who likes us the most, but yeah, there's a lot we can do with it.
Fantastic. Priya.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like Clark, I also started in the Ignite rotational program. I did 2 rotations. I was a data scientist with our power delivery group and did some DevOps work with the NextEra energy resources side. But I have, after 2 years of that, moved over into Ignite Data Analytics, one of the lucky few who's been in both programs. And so here I'm a data scientist, and I've worked with lots of different, different groups, FPL Energy Services, which is a subgroup, and some other teams like that. And nuclear. I think the
Fantastic.
nuclear work's the most interesting, to be honest.
Agreed. All right. And Sierra, thank you for kicking things off. I would love to get your input on this one as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So my role is a little bit different. So as I mentioned, I am more of a project manager type role. So I get to work closely on a lot of our different projects from a project management perspective. This can be ML or Gen AI projects. I also have helped with some of our buys. The other thing that I do as part of my role, or I guess 2 different things. One is kind of more on a training and education side of things. So, training users across the organization on how to use some of our internal AI tools. And then the other piece is AI ethics. So, as you can imagine, as AI gets more and more powerful, there are concerns about AI from a bias perspective, from a cybersecurity perspective, fairness, you name it. So we need to look into those things before we bring in any of those tools into our company. So I help with some cyber reviews from an AI perspective, and I also help evaluate some of our internal builds as well to make sure that we're considering all of the good, responsible AI principles.
Awesome. So the next question is, and we'll start this one off with Priya. Priya, what is your favorite AI tool?
I have 2 answers for this question. At work, my favorite tool is GitHub Copilot. I use it a lot in my day-to-day job. I was preparing for a presentation today, actually, and I needed to make a graphic really quickly. And so I was able to type in, make me a scatter plot that takes in this kind of data and uses Plotly library, and it output the data or output the plot very quickly. It was really nice and saved me a lot of time of actually hand coding it. And then at home, this is actually one that Sierra told me about, which is the Spotify day lists. It automatically puts together a playlist for you for like Tuesday evening running time or whatever they want to call it. And it's a really nice little feature in Spotify that I love to use.
All righty. How about you, Clark?
Yeah, so my favorite AI tool is the one that I use at home personally, and I know you guys already had a little slide about this earlier. I was watching your little presentation, and it's the ChatGPT Plus subscription. I swear this isn't an ad, but I pay $20 a month for nearly unlimited use and early access to the significantly more powerful models. I use it for personal coding projects at home, and it's really incredibly useful. And this is a random but still related tangent, but I've been recently getting into fishing, and I've been using the deep research functionality that you guys were talking about to pick out like the best tackle to keep in my trunk. I mapped this button out on my phone to start a voice chat with the 4.0 model so I can have AI on speed dial when a question pops up in my head or in conversation. That's it. I highly suggest it, and I'm free to chat about it later if you guys have any questions on it.
Nice. Sierra?
Sure. So I'll give 2 answers as well. So I'll go with at work, and then I'll go with in my free time. So of our generative AI tools. So using it for all kinds of different things, whether it be summarizing long documents, helping with generating first drafts of emails, bullets for PowerPoints, you name it. Super helpful. In my personal time, I do love the Spotify day list, still use that every single day. It knows me too well. And then the other thing is, of course, I'm just using like all of the different models, ChatGPT, trying out Grok, trying out all of them to just help automate different parts of my life and help make decisions easier. So a silly example is I recently went on a trip to Park City. I wanted some restaurant recommendations. And as you know, ChatGPT has memory. It knows some things about some of my preferences. So it was super helpful in helping me find some restaurants that I might want to go to on the trip. So that kind of a silly example, but really integrating AI into all aspects of my life.
Fantastic. So Sierra, I'm going to keep it with you. And the next question is, how did you get into data science?
Yeah, so this one's kind of unique. I did not have a data science background by any means. So it's really never too late to get started, I think is the main takeaway. I majored in management information systems when I was in college with a minor in accounting, went into IT audit. I really didn't start using AI until a year and a half ago. There was an opportunity to look into AI ethics with my compliance background. It made sense for me to kind of take on that role. So I moved over into the artificial intelligence department. And from there, most of my learning has been on the job. So I have learned a lot from the excellent data scientists on the team. I've also done training on my own. So I took a MIT course, for example, on data science, so I could learn how to develop models on my own. And then I also have been just reading everything that I can, taking different courses to make sure that I stay up to date, or subscribing to reputable newsletters as well. So even without a significant background in college, you can get started at any point.
Priya?
Yeah, so like I mentioned in my intro, my bachelor's degree is actually in biochemistry. I took a C class when I was, I guess right around the time I was graduating college, and I was like, this is really good. I like doing this. This is fun. How can I do this and make good money? And so I started looking at the different career paths for people who want to get into software development. And I thought, well, data science is a nice combination of the kind of sciences that I like and the statistics and all of that on that side with the coding that I realized that I really enjoyed. And so it was a good background. And interestingly, I know a lot of people on our team who have a similar background in the sciences. So even if you're not like a traditional computer science major, you're part of a different hard science or soft science or anywhere, and you're definitely have a future in data science if you're interested.
Very interesting path. How about you, Clark?
Yeah. How I got into data science, it started in university. At FAU, I studied computer science, and I even went for a minor in AI and a certificate in data science. So I had a lot of early exposure to it academically. ChatGPT also conveniently became popular in my senior year, so you can imagine all the fun I had learning using this new tool when professors did not know anything about it. Legally, I think I should advise you to actually learn the material so you can pass technical interviews. Um, as for why I got into data science, I always thought getting into data science was the best move for career longevity and to be integrated with the innovative era that we were born in. I want to be part of the team driving innovation with AI and knowing all the ins and outs rather than just being part of the team that works with it.
Very nice. And I'm going to piggyback off of something that you just said. So you mentioned learning. I know that, these are students in this class that are looking to break into the data science field. And I'm curious, and I'll start with you, Clark. What should beginners focus on when learning about data science and AI?
Yeah, so I would say brush up on Python, like take courses, get certificates in it because it's the primary language that you'll be writing in. Outside of that, I would say learn about AWS, learn how to deploy apps using an ECS. I think it's a valuable tool to have. And even if you don't always get to do that on the job, showing that you know how to do that is a huge point during a technical interview. I would say learn a bit of SQL as well. 80% of the work that you're doing as a data scientist is the data, and SQL is something you might just end up using when exploring databases wherever you go. And one last tip, talk to everyone that you can that already does what you want to do. You guys obviously have already know this because we're here right now, but I would encourage you to keep going, keep making connections, start conversations, and keep learning from the people that you look up to.
Yeah, I second that. You know, like in a mentor, you should always kind of look for the things that you like in that and what you're looking for in that person. So, good point, and definitely it helps to make those connections now and network now as well. So awesome. Sierra, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would really echo what Clark said. Even as somebody who is not in a traditional data science role, I think it has been very helpful for me, even as a project manager, to have a bit of background in Python, to have a bit of background in AWS, so that I can work better with the data scientists. You have to have kind of that understanding. So I think a foundation in both of those areas is super important. And then the only thing that I would add on is just continuing to stay up to date. As you guys know, this field is changing every single day. I feel like every single time I open the news, there's a new model, like DeepSeek, there's GPT 4.5, there's always something new. So staying as up to date as possible as the technology continues to evolve and change is important as well.
What do you think, Priya?
Definitely underscoring and highlighting everything Sierra and Clark both said. I think for me, there are kind of two ways to look at this question. On the one hand, it's really important to understand the underlying concepts of a lot of the tools and models you'll use. So it's good to know how to implement a random forest or how to hit a ChatGPT endpoint, but under the hood, what are those doing? How do they work? Because ChatGPT is going away one day. It will be replaced by something else even more powerful. And if you only know how to use ChatGPT, that's not helpful to you, right? You have to know how it works in order to know how to use the next thing. And I think right now you're all in university, you've got a really good uh, like built-in benefit, which is learning is your full-time job right now. So right now, focus on how you like to learn. Learn how you best learn, because when you're like a full-time employee, you still have to learn, you still have to keep updated. And it's so much easier to keep updated and to learn if you know that, oh, I prefer to do technical reading in the afternoon when my brain's more awake. And I prefer to do creative projects in the morning when I'm fresh and have all this energy, or whatever your divide may be. And so figuring that out is going to be really, really helpful for you all.
Great advice across the board. Thank you so much, everybody. Hey guys, I don't want to hijack this meeting. I would love to leave time for questions and answers. How do you want us to format this with this remaining about 25 minutes?
I think we can ask our other members if they have any questions for it, and then if you can't hear them, we'll share them with you, and then you can answer. I think that work.
Sure. We have more questions. I wanted to make sure everybody gets their questions answered also. So
Does anyone
that
have any
sounds good to
questions?
me. If somebody would like to fire away, I'm sure the panel would be happy to answer.
Does anyone have any questions? You have one? Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hi, my name's Adam. Nice to meet you all. Thank you for coming out tonight and answering our questions. So I do have a question. So aside from like supporting the development team and stuff like that, I really wanted to know how it is NextEra Energy using AI when it comes to the actual main mission of, like, you know, renewable storage and providing like green energy for the world.
Does anybody, Sierra?
Yeah, I think I can answer that question. So I can't get too much into the actual specifics of how we are deploying AI, but we are really integrating it into all aspects of what we do to make all employees more efficient. So we have enterprise-wide tools that are designed to make people more efficient, to reduce the time it takes to complete tasks. But we also have some domain-specific tools as well. So not just Gen AI that is helping people in a domain-specific way to answer domain-specific questions, but also ML models for things like predictive maintenance, forecasting, things like that. So we're integrating it across the board to improve and make our processes more efficient. I don't know if anybody would like to add.
Yeah, just a short thing to add on to that. Pretty much everywhere in this company, I'm very new to the company, by the way, just to throw that out there. But um, everything that you can possibly think of that relates energy and AI together, there is something that someone in the company is working on that's based on it. So, like you can imagine stuff in the nuclear field, there's always AI that's available there. There's stuff in the renewable side. If it comes to like the maintenance, like Sierra was saying, there's a lot of things that we put into AI. We do a lot of investing into data science that really pushes our company to be super automated, super efficient so that we save money and we save you guys money for all of our customers, really, so that, AI is everywhere.
Yeah, to add to that, I would say like we're actively encouraging the use of AI at the company for all employees, not just the AI team and data science teams. We're pushing it across the board, and we're also empowering different employees across different business groups to develop their own AI use cases and do things in their own role. So we're not really limited to a couple big projects. We're not limited to let's just use ChatGPT and call it a day. It's really integrated across the board, and we're empowering employees every day to keep developing new AI use cases to bring new ideas forward. I think a lot of times people think of energy companies kind of similarly to how they would think about the government being super behind and kind of behind the curve and more followers. I would say that NextEra is a leader in the space. We are doing things really rapidly and continuing to, I guess, push the envelope a little bit in terms of innovating, testing new technologies. So really, it's integrated everywhere.
I don't know if you had anything to add, Priya, but those are two fantastic answers. Thank you.
Yeah, I think my answer is a lot of traditional ML is really powerful. So LLMs are cool and really interesting and powerful, but there's a lot of room still for traditional ML. And the way that I think about it at the company is kind of automating simple decision making. So if you have a task that you have to complete every single day, we can have somebody essentially build you an LLM that can automate that, and that can work really powerfully, assuming that your data looks good and all that, but that's a lot of what I do.
Nice.
Thanks for the answers.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I have a question next. So I know you all went over like it's good to have like Python skills, like AWS skills and all that, things like that. But when you all are like looking for new members to bring on your team or new hires, what are some experiences or technical skills that make a potential hire really stand out to you and make you go, I want that person?
I don't know if anybody can answer that on the technical side. I can answer it on the other side.
I can answer on the technical side. I was very lucky to sit in on a couple of interviews a while ago, and the number one thing that stands out to me is your resume. If you have projects that you're really proud of in class, you can put those on there. But beyond that, what are you doing in your free time? Joining clubs like this? What projects are you doing in your free time? Some people will make an app that they can, pull up on their computer or their phone and show us what they do, and that's really interesting. And then a big kind of philosophy is maybe not the right word we have at the company is we push for continuous learning. So if you can tell us something you're learning outside of class, outside of what's required for your major, it definitely will help you shine when compared to other people who probably have similar classes and similar experiences in that way to you.
Yeah, those are great. One thing that I would add on, maybe a little bit less on the technical side, but it's great to illustrate skills in Python. It's great to illustrate skills in AWS. But another thing that we're really looking for is people that can problem solve. So can you talk to a business unit and translate the business problem they're seeing into how we might be able to solve it with technology? Because a lot of times you'll go into meetings with business units. I do this every single day, and they'll have this process that they've been doing for years and years, and it's not working properly. It is not efficient at all, but they're not sure how we could even begin to apply technology to solve the problem. So we're looking for people that can think outside the box and think about that business problem, think about how you might first improve the process, and also how we can apply technology. So being able to problem solve and take from the problem that the business is experiencing and translate that into how we might solve it with a tool is a really important skill set to have.
And if I
Agreed.
one more thing that is just really good to add on your resume that people just really love to eat up here is having a project that you're really passionate about. Just you started off in your free time, build out a POC, and after that, just start fleshing it out, and then have like more and more added to it. Being able to explain it really well, being able to speak to the project, know the ins and outs, and show the interviewer that you really are enjoying the work that you do and that you have a lot of knowledge that you went out on your own to find out. It's really good to see that passion in you and be able to speak to the things that you like doing.
Yeah, I agree with everything that everybody said. I think that as a student, you don't have that true work experience in most cases. So, I think what we're looking for, and this is more on kind of the functional side, but, I like to see those extracurriculars that Priya mentioned. If you're participating in contests or hackathons, or you're a part of a technology club, for example, the AI at UCF. I mean, these are the things that show you're not just at school to get your degree and move on. You're here because you're really passionate about these things. And that really translates well in an interview. On the technical side, as young professionals coming out of college, I don't think many hiring managers are going to be super critical of your technical capabilities. They may want to know what you know, but they're not going to have an extremely hard exercise for you to demonstrate on or things like that. So, keep in mind, experience is great, but we also know that for students coming out of college, you may be more in the theory space. You may not have that experience, but all those extracurricular things just really help kind of make your resume look more robust and bring you to the top of the pack.
Um, Sarah, I had a question for you. So you brought up in the conversation, first of all, thank you for answering. Second, I noticed you said that like you're trying to look for people who can like problem solve and think outside of the box. Like during the like interviewing and hiring process, how do you like to measure that? Like, do you just ask questions and see how people think about that? Or what else do you do?
Yeah, I think this one's a little bit tough because you guys are coming out of college, so you're not going to have as much of that real world experience. But there's always questions that you can pose, like, hey, if you were faced with this problem, how might you solve it? So you might ask an interview question like that just to see how somebody might think through it. And maybe you don't have the right answer, because a lot of times even we wouldn't have the right answer. It takes some time to unravel those, but just showing that you can think through it and ask the right questions is also very important.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all of you for answering my question. That was very helpful and very useful. Do any of our other members have one? You have one?
Yeah, I have a specific question. So I guess what are some of the issues that you've ran into with ethics in AI? I'm kind of just curious.
Yeah, so the space is evolving very rapidly. So far, there isn't anything that is looking like this is a dire risk, but we're always monitoring, especially from a security standpoint. So, a lot of what I do from a day to day is evaluating the technologies that we bring into the company. So, we have a lot of control over what we build. Our developers, our data scientists, they have standards and testing best practices that they follow. But when you're bringing in a vendor tool, they might not be protecting our data in the same way that we would protect it. So you would want to ask questions to these different vendors to see how they might handle our data. Are they protecting our data? Are they what models are they using, for example? So you guys talked a little bit about DeepSeek earlier. So DeepSeek came out, there were lots of questions. So that's something that we evaluated on NextEra's side as well. We had to do some testing to see, like, are we comfortable with this model? Would we be comfortable bringing it in? Even something as simple as ChatGPT. As you can imagine, ChatGPT is super useful when you're using it for personal use, but it does have memory. It does take your data and it can train on your data. When you're looking at that from a corporate standpoint, you have to make sure that they're not going to be training on your corporate data, for example. And then there is kind of the other side of things. So outside of security, there's always bias and fairness. And the use cases themselves doesn't even make sense to apply AI here. So if you think about something like hiring, you might have seen in the news that some companies are trying to use AI to help with the hiring process. But if you train on biased data, then your AI would also make biased decisions. So if you're using that in a hiring context, for example, then that could be something very risky that could get your organization into a lot of trouble. So looking at all of those different things, both when we build and buy technologies, is super important.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I just have one more question. So, I noticed earlier, Brad, you mentioned, the internship program. I was just wondering if you could share some more information about that. What kind of roles do you have, kind of offered for the internship program that starts in September?
Sure. So the application time opens in September, but this internship is actually for the summertime. So typically it's about an 11-week internship. It starts in late May and it will run into early August. So for example, for summer 2025, this upcoming summer, we have our students selected for that. So in September is the best time to apply. You'll see positions when you go onto our career webpage, such as cybersecurity, you'll see the data science, you'll see the data engineering. We have our nuclear fleet, which has an IT department as well. There's a lot. There's many different roles. So there's typically around 30 to 40 intern positions just within the IT space. So there's a variety. You'll see some technical, like software development, but then you'll also see some functional, more like project management or business analyst. So that gives you a little idea about the positions you'll see. We do a lot of fun, interesting things. We like to get the interns involved with, meeting executives. So we have our lead team and our CIO. We do a meet and greet. We go out and we visit some of the assets that we have here within the company. For example, some of the solar fields or some of the combustion engines. And a lot of workshops. We give you the opportunity to get certified in a yellow belt, which is a Six Sigma process improvement program. And we also have our software development workshops, our AI workshops, which we have our kind of in-house system that we use for AI. But it's a great program. The only qualifications are you have to have a 3.0 GPA. You have to be continuing in your career, your college career after the internship. So if you plan to graduate in May of 2026, you would not be eligible for the internship. But if you're graduating in December of 2026, you'll be eligible for this summer's internship. Any other questions on?
I have a follow-up question to the internship question. So you said that requirements are 3.0 GPA and then to continue being in school after the summer. Do we have any other maybe like recommendations, like technical skills or like certificates, anything like that you recommend us maybe work on? from now until September, around that area, that we should maybe try to get?
So, yes, anything that you do that will add value to your resume or add value to your profile, I would say go ahead and do it. But, honestly, we're looking at you as somebody that's coming in without a whole lot of experience, mainly just a knowledge base. And, that's really all we're looking for. Certifications are okay. The company will pay for those certifications, so don't go wild. You can get those things taken care of. I think, kind of circling back, I really like to see somebody that is invested in what they're doing in school. They're doing the extra events, they're going to extracurricular groups or societies, they're, getting involved in challenges, things that are kind of promoting the desire to learn, I think is what we're looking for as an organization. We can teach you the rest and we'll get you the experience, but we really want that hunger and that passion in order to show you, where to go from there.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? Street, yeah?
I have a question for you guys. So, I was wondering, like, what future AI advancements do you think will have the biggest impact in the field of renewable energy / computer science? Like, how do you guys think that it'll affect you guys?
Question.
Can you repeat that one again? I didn't hear it too well.
Sorry. I said, like, what future AI advancements will have the biggest impact in the field of renewable energy? And specifically, like, how do you think it'll impact you guys at NextEra?
So I think agentic AI is one of the up and coming AI developments that the world is going to be seeing a whole lot of in the coming months even. So how it's going to affect renewable energy, we don't know exactly how it is, but for our data scientists on the team, it'd be really fun to start experimenting with it as they are already, to continue automating processes, making the engineers' lives a lot easier on the field, or when it comes to just the customer service side, even like having the customers go through the app and do something simple or ask something simple, and then an AI agent does a lot of the work for you rather than having a customer service representative. There's a lot of things that we can do with agentic AI that we are just on the surface of touching. So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, I would agree. Agentic is super exciting. A lot of people are interested at the company already in agentic, and it's so new. So, really excited about agentic. The other thing I would add is voice AI. I think that could be a game changer. As you can imagine, at an electricity company, we have a lot of employees that are actually out in the field, that are working at power plants, that are working at wind sites, working at solar sites, and being able to give them a more hands-free way to use AI tools could be a game changer. So that's something I'm really excited to continue to explore.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of work with the nuclear side of things, which, because of the laws around that, have some pretty strict regulations from the government on how they operate. And so from that side, they're looking at things like small language models and local language models that are more compliant with federal regulations. And so I think that in general, looking at federal regulations for the energy industry, local language models and smaller language models, I think will be a big unlock in the future.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Brad, do you have any more questions for the team while we have like the last couple minutes?
I do not, and I would open it up to the panel if they have any questions for the group. But the one last thing that I would love to just mention, so our rotation that a couple of the folks here have worked in is open for you to apply before you actually graduate. So like if you're a senior, this is the time in September to apply for when you've graduated. So most positions within the company, if they're full-time, you have to be actually graduated and you have to have your diploma. Ignite rotation is one of those that you don't have to have that, and that's really nice. So just wanted to highlight that before I sign out, but I'll open it up for the panel if they have any questions for the group there. And I'll stop talking.
Yeah, if you have any questions about the Ignite program, like what Brad was saying, I'm currently in it. I'm a senior in the program, so I'd be a perfect contact for you if you want to hear about it, or if you want to hear about some experiences that we've had with it. There's a lot you can learn with it, and there's a lot of different business units that you'll be able to hear from and to work with when you're in the program. So, yeah.
Double click what Clark said. If you have questions about Ignite Data Analytics, which is our data science focused rotational, absolutely happy to answer. Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure. I don't know how you guys want to close things out, but we've really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for having us and hosting this event. Hopefully we brought value to the team.
And I do have one more ending question for you guys, if that's all right. So if our members can reach out to you to kind of, get more information on either the internships or just what you guys are doing, or like the Ignite program, is it all right if our members contact you? And if so, what is your guys' preferred means of contact, like email, LinkedIn, or what?
Yeah, so I'm Clark Boy on LinkedIn, so you can just look me up there. I'll be happy to answer any questions there.
I'm Priya Penather on LinkedIn. I'll happily answer any questions there. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one at this company.
Yeah, I think what we could do is maybe share our LinkedIn accounts, and that way we can connect there, communicate there. That's always a great way to stay connected to the group. That
Sounds
works.
good. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate you taking the time to come out and present to our members and do our Q&A session. So thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Have a great day.
Yes, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate you all coming out to the meeting tonight. Technology, I can't.
By the way, like we'll just send an announcement after as well with like
Yeah.
all their LinkedIns.
Yep.
And we definitely recommend, if you guys decide to reach out to them, mention that you are from the AI at UCF GBM. It'll probably make them more receptive to responding to you.
Yes, and thank you. So thank you for coming. If you want to keep up with us afterwards, you can join our Discord and follow us on Instagram. We also have our link tree, which has all of the links, all of our other links. That has our YouTube channel, our calendar for our upcoming event, and our application page. So if you want to get involved with the club further, like they recommended, you can go to there, or you can go to ucfai.org/apply, which will send you to our application for our coordinator application. So if you're interested in helping out the club more, trying to really show your passion for AI and help grow it at university, go there, please. So thank you all so much for coming. We hope to see you tomorrow for our core workshops and next week for our project presentation. Thank you so much.
Also, don't forget to grab one of the sheets if you
Yeah.
want a free month of ChatGPT Plus.
Yep, we got our sheets right here. Make sure to grab them on the way out. Thank you all.